Trials and Tribulations today. We're getting close to the end here. I don't know. I've been told we're getting close to the end. I don't actually know that much. I kind of figured we'd have one more day of investigation, but maybe not. Yeah, I think it's cool that they made like 80s music to be like, yeah, you know, this is part of the character. He's like stuck in Earth culture from when he got kidnapped. But also they made music that you could listen to on stream, and it's good. It actually like doesn't suck. But B, it keeps that sort of part of the character alive. So I thought that was neat. All right, let's get into it here. I was gonna do SMT5, but I wanted to do this because I wanted to, because it seemed like fun. And it's been a big Thanksgiving week for me, so just reading a little bit will be nice. I don't need to get stressed out. Yeah, exactly. And I knew that, I know you like to be around for the VNs. Ooh, we got new music. Or is this the same music that it was earlier in this game? This might be this game's version of this song, but it sounds new. I don't know. It might just be this game's version of this song and I'm just noticing it now. It sounds very, it's very, has a lot of gravitas, it feels like. It's very serious.
Good morning. Oh, are you by yourself?
Morning, Pearls.
Mr. Nick, please tell me what's gonna happen to Mystic Maya.
I'm sorry. We don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple.
Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those trick locks in the training hall?
No. She's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. Oh, that's good. It's always good to be getting that money. She's required to be here in court.
Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby?
I have to admit, it's kind of strange. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Who is this speaking? Oh, it's Edgeworth. Edgeworth? Why do they do that? I never know who's talking. I have to like assume, and then I get the voice wrong half the time. I should know whose voice it is. I've heard them before. Stop being annoying. What's Iris doing over there? Or what's Iris doing over there? I stressed the wrong words. She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession. So I heard. Franziska von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? Then who is? Who else would it be but Godot? Godot? Franziska is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern.
Sacred. The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's...
Exactly. She has been out there all night, trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon.
Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth.
Coffee. Have some coffee. Everybody wants some coffee?
I have my drink here to support me. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow.
You don't have to tell me that.
Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday.
It's strange. On my way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger.
Interesting. Maybe you've passed your cold onto someone else, literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner.
Thanks.
Partner?
I should. What I have right now is it's a quart. It's a quart jar. So it's a lot of water. But, you know, you go through it when you're reading and you're doing voices, you go through it pretty quick. Hey.
Okay. I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case.
Which is why I thought there was going to be another day of investigation, but I guess not. I guess we're freaking getting in there. I don't know. I'll check it out. I'll see if maybe someone wants to get like, cause you know, I can like get whatever I want. Like Christmas is weird when you're an adult, cause like I can just get this. It's like $20. It's not a big deal. But then like, I need to like, no, I need to wait. I need to allow other people to get me things because that's fun. Like you like getting people gifts. And so I think that would be a good thing to say like, hey, I might want this for Christmas. No, yeah. I mean, I'm lucky enough to be in a good position with that. But yeah, it's different. Like when you're an adult, for one reason or another, Christmas becomes like a weird thing. So I'll probably end up just saying like, hey, I am interested in the gallon water bottle. Maybe someone would like to get that for me. Anyway.
The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Donham. No, I mean Miss Misty Fey.
Miss Misty Fey. That's a lot of S's. I don't like that.
The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen.
Oh yeah, and someone followed during the opening. I wanted to thank them for following. Pelican, thank you. It means a lot. It didn't go into my stupid counter because the stupid counter only goes up like it only goes up when it's up and I don't have it up during the opening. It's so dumb. Anyway.
And what that woman is really after.
That lady. Yeah, I mean, when you want less stuff when you're an adult. You don't see a Nerf gun on TV and you're like, I want that Nerf gun. This is my life. Like you are when you're a kid, you know? It's not the same. It's not the same.
I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look who's back. We don't need to fool the Canadian guy, so we have our classic man.
Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Yeah, I really liked the other guy. Oh, I liked doing a voice there. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, no. They could just be hanging out together. Your Honor, what are you?
Oh, me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him.
I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot.
My poor brother, he looked a bit pale. Not to mention sad that he couldn't be here.
He caught Phoenix's cold. Phoenix sneezed on him. His brother's just really into hockey. It's an affectation. He's not even really from Canada. I bet that's what it is. The land of milk and bags.
It is impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us.
He's never lost a case. Ever.
This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past.
He never even won a single time. He's never lost. It's just, he sucks. He keeps losing to me. But he's so confident. You gotta admire that.
And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment.
Well said, Mr. Godot. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyway. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement.
Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There is only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug.
So then you mean, oh, forget it. What do you mean?
007. That's what they called me back in the day. Bang, bang. All the time, getting it done. It's fine. It's true, it was a missed opportunity. We're moving on, though. We gotta get this ball rolling, man.
During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make.
Confession? The defendant?
Iris, why didn't she discuss this with me first?
Lots of S's, lots of annoying S's.
Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. Yes. And you think this gives you power over me?
Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is there something that you want to confess to?
Yes, but first, I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore.
It's all right. What is it?
Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Ooh. Excuse me. Got a little burpy.
Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you are the one who murdered Miss Elise Donham?
No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard, where I desecrated it.
What? Order in the court! Order! Witness, are you? Are you saying you are an accomplice to the murder?
Yes, that's correct.
What? Oh, great. 3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat. Ha! Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be that, in this case, it's to murder! Wow! Isn't that right, Mr. Trite? Ah, that Godot. So this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie.
Crumpled up and shoved into a pocket. I really like any time that a game has like announcements like that of like, you know, stuff that happens, but it's goofy like that. Like it's not like Iris's testimony disregarded from the court record. Like, you know, he shoved it in his pocket. He's done with it.
Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions?
Iris was covering for someone? Ugh, now I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle or a life jacket.
I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Karain tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
I'm sorry, but main family?
Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself, if need be, to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Karain channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey.
Huh?
What?
Wake up and smell the coffee, Trite.
She's naming
Maya!
Order! Order in the court! So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer!
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her.
That's ridiculous. Maya could never do it.
The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony.
Yeah, I think this is time number 2. I guess we established the last time that technically if you get your body possessed by a spirit and don't have control of your own body, it's still your fault. Because that was the last time we talked about this. They were like, well, even if you know, we know how the channeling works. And you don't have control of your body or your mind. I think it was just the Eeny Meeny case, right? Oh yeah, you're right. That one, I was thinking of possession, because obviously this has to do with possession, but you're right. In the red-white case. This has to happen once a game. Maya has to be accused of murder. We were due for it, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, that's what they said. Like, you know, when you go and a spirit takes control of your mind and body, and you're basically an observer in your own, like, physical form, and someone else has control of you, and that person kills someone, it's not even your body. It's their body, down to the fingerprints, down to the DNA. It's their physical body. But then if they do it, then you do it, then it's your fault. Whatever. Maybe we're gonna have to address that again, just to bring it back up.
What exactly happened on the night of the crime?
Yes, Your Honor.
I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction.
The real murderer. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
I went to the inner temple that night, and I saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
So it was in self-defense?
Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. And that's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya.
You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal.
Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night. And that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Yeah, so we've got to establish what is even happening. So she went to the inner temple and saw it all happen in the garden. Mystic Elise struck Mystic Maya and she was gonna beat her up, but she tried to defend herself. It was only in self-defense. Shouldn't we have taken fingerprints from that staff already? I feel like we should have done that.
Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple.
Oh, hell yeah. Those are great. Hellsing Ultimate Abridged is so raw.
Bitches love cannons.
It's so classic.
Have you heard the new sensation that's sweeping the nation?
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not like Dragon Ball Z where the original sucks and the abridged makes it bearable. Like Hellsing Ultimate is actually good.
And a 70-inch plasma screen TV.
It's so good. Anyway, I gotta play this video game. I don't need to be doing voices from other things that are in no way related to the voices I'm supposed to be doing.
Did she now? Too bad for you. What she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go?
It was in the Inner Temple's training hall.
A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be properly described as hearsay.
Is that how you spell hearsay? Is that I thought it was I thought it was spelled like here, the location. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm mixing it up with heresy. I'm thinking of the word heresy, which is a completely different word.
What do you have to...
Shut up. It's fine.
What do you have to say, witness?
I just couldn't tell him the truth at that time. Mystic Maya. She's your girlfriend, isn't she? I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder.
There, we all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden?
Well, Your Honor.
I saw Mystic Elise strike with staff. I guess that's where the blood came from.
You're saying that the victim attacked Maya. I mean, Miss Faye.
Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was going to collapse.
What were you doing at the time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting?
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock.
That's perfectly understandable, my dear.
Nah, this doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute.
What happened after that?
Mystic Maya was still stumbling. She went in and just beat her to death.
She moved in to deliver a fatal strike?
Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon.
Wait a minute. What was this weapon?
It was some kind of dagger.
A dagger, huh? And Elise Donham tried to stab her with this weapon. To kill Miss Faye?
Yes, exactly.
Ha!
Why are you saying ha? That's like...
You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. Worcestershire sauce.
Huh.
Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy?
Do I have a problem with Iris's testimony?
Well, I do have a problem, but I wanted to listen to the other stuff. Yeah, sure. Whatever. We have a problem.
Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony.
You do? But this witness is your own client.
Yes, well, nevertheless.
That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that.
Listen, Gramps. I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me.
And this gives you power over me?
Okay now, let's continue.
She threw her staff away and pulled a dagger from inside her robe. Oh my goodness.
She threw her staff away.
Whoops. Ooh, my chair is falling apart. Stupid cheap chair. It served me well for like the past couple years. I mean, it's almost been 2 years in this chair, but that's still a little rough.
Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon.
It's true. It's not easy to inflict a deadly blow with a staff.
Sister Iris, let me make sure I've got this straight. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff.
Yes, that's what I saw.
Is there anything odd about that, Mr. Wright?
Yeah, it's odd, all right.
So if you don't remember, last time we discovered that the staff has a cool sword, like she's the penguin or something. And so, you know, we'll have to present that here in a minute.
Mystic Elise attacked Mystic Maya with the dagger. I'm sure of this.
Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon.
And then...
Mystic Maya, she turned things around, and then she used the weapon she had taken and lunged forward for a strike.
Oh my God! Witness, are you absolutely certain?
Yes, but believe me, she had no choice.
What? What is it? What happened?
If Mystic Maya hadn't done something...
Maya Fey's name would have been written on this autopsy report instead.
Who is it? What happened? What? Oh my gosh. Scandalous. It's Larry! I knew it. I knew I couldn't trust that motherfucker.
Like, man, it was me all along, dude. Like you thought it was Maya, but it was me, like Larry.
Yes, I see.
Like Kodo Larry, daw.
This is bad.
Oh shoot. I need to see that. That's gonna be fun. That's what I'm doing directly after this stream. I'm gonna not speak for like an hour and just watch them talk about Dune. I love those Wisconsin boys. I love those elderly weirdos.
I still can't put the pieces together. Unless I find a contradiction in her testimony, Maya's gonna get blamed for this.
I only have this to say.
It was in self-defense. Well, then it's fine.
So you're saying Maya Fey was the one who stabbed Miss Elise Donim? Sister Iris, is that really what you saw?
Yes.
Godot's objection voice sounds like me doing a deep voice, like,
Objection! I am doing a deeper voice than my normal voice.
Right. If your mug is filled with black and bitter suspicions, the only way to get rid of them is to drink them down quick. Like this!
epic suspicious.
I know that's supposed to be a metaphor, but I don't get it.
There's only one thing you need to get right. It's called evidence. Now hurry up before my next cup gets cold.
What does that mean? Is Godot waiting for me to point out the contradictions? I'd like to avoid the whole spirit channeling thing if I can. Not only would it be inadmissible as evidence, but I think it might actually hurt our standing with the judge. First, I need to pick her testimony apart and expose the unnatural sounding parts. I don't know why Iris would tell a story like this, but there are two things I noticed that just don't add up.
Two things. Well, I mean, number one was the dagger. So we're gonna start with that. Actually, wrong. Get him out of here, get him out of here. Don't give him his jacket. That's Slinkara, don't give him his jacket.
Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events.
Huh?
Miss Donham throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me.
But all you can do with a staff is hit someone.
Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. If Elise Donham really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already.
Why do you say already twice? It makes you sound insane. Makes you sound like you're writing a tweet and you didn't read the whole tweet, so you said already at the beginning and the end of the sentence. Many such cases. Sad.
Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say?
That was an impressive bit of investigating, right? I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff.
Oh yeah! I forgot. I totally forgot because it's been a couple of days, but one of the things I'm very excited about trying to get to affiliate for is we have this very nice emote that Tiara made for me of Clover pogging, as she is so wont to do. It is very good. So tell all your friends and relations to watch and follow, so that Twitch can finally have a Clover Pog emote circulating on it. It's let's be real, it's her time. It's her time. She's waited long enough, okay? It's only natural. She's been putting in the work. Clover Pog will happen. Okay. It's only a matter of time.
But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat.
Do you know what a sword is, Godot? Do you know what a sword is for? Have you heard of swords before?
Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade.
Well,
Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony.
But there is something strange about this whole testimony.
Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point.
Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument.
Mr. Wright,
I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted. Because Miss Elise Donham would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey.
yeah, okay, it does say all her stuff now. She's Maya's mommy.
Elise Donham would never have attacked Maya Fey.
how can you be so sure?
Because the victim's real name was not Elise Donham. Her real name was Misty Fey.
Hey?
No, not Mystic Misty Fey.
Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to...
Misty Fey is the master of the Karain channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey.
Are you serious?
Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Donham actually the great Mystic Misty?
There's no doubt about it. It looks like Iris had no idea.
I can hardly believe it.
The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hasn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. Ba-ba!
He hates it.
Order! Order in the court! Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, one, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and two, that the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter. Despite the facts being believable when taken on their own, when taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe.
Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible. Except for one little thing.
Impossibility.
Yes, what is the one, brother?
Ha! You still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps.
Could you get to your point?
I heard this witness's confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee.
Bro, what? This man, he's not gonna live past 40. His liver's gonna implode. His gallbladder's gonna it's gonna rupture. I mean, to be fair, we don't know how old he is, but he looks fairly young. Other than his, like, obviously dyed white hair. His slate colored hair. That he died after Mia died for some reason. Because he's insane. Other than that, he looks very youthful. But then again, I mean, he is Ricardo Montalban, who looked who looked young, like all the way up until Wrath of Khan. So who knows?
You're going to ruin your health, my friend.
I mean, for real.
Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession,
That's literally his character.
my name is Diego Armando. You killed my coworker. Prepare to die. I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty.
Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing?
Obviously, Your Honor. But do you not notice something else?
Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it.
Which he had to be told about because he can't see the color red. Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene.
Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene?
Huh? The pine tree?
This dagger was stuck in the back of the pine tree.
You mean that... That's a big bonsai tree. Are bonsais pines? I think that's wrong. I think you're insane. In California, they are? You know what? Fair.
When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women, this little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree.
Which means the blood on this dagger belongs to the victim, correct?
Ha! Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning. Just as I had taken this...
He had... Wait. He had 5 cups of coffee between...
Didn't you say it was your 8th just a few minutes ago?
Yeah, he... Glugging it down.
I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice.
In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately.
This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right.
Bailiff, whack his pee-pee. Get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately.
Great, we got it. We got the dagger.
Now then, the testimony we've just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible.
Maybe if you weren't holding on to this... holding on to this dagger for a gotcha, we could have gotten it tested by now.
Cute girls never lie. Ever.
You know what? You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna have to screenshot that. That's important to have. Anyway. Gonna have to store those nuts for winter.
In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court.
About what, Your Honor?
About the incident you saw. The battle between the two women.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. The battle.
Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive, with her back on the stone lantern.
Made a critical hit noise.
That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
That was a very heartbreaking story.
I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore.
That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
All right, well, let's check it out. Four to 5 hours away from the end. All right, so we will probably... We'll probably go short then. We'll probably get to a stopping place. And then we'll finish this up on Thursday. Because I don't know that I'm in a good state to stream for another 5 hours after already streaming for an hour. So we might go a little short and then finish it up later. Hold it. But I always appreciate the help, because, you know, when you never played a game before, it's hard to judge when things are gonna end, and it's kind of, you know, you fly by the seat of your pants. But, like, you never really know. Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this?
What do you mean?
Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle.
I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden's stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me.
So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck?
Yeah, I want to give it I want to give this the time it deserves and the attention it deserves. And if I'm rushing through to get to the end and we're getting close to 6 hours and I'm starting to get bleary after streaming so long, I feel like that's not fair to the game, especially since I've enjoyed these games so much. I want to, like, really be present, you know. I've still got the post Thanksgiving like lethargy. So we'll probably end up finishing on Thursday. But yeah, thank you for the time estimate, because I'm never really sure with these things, because all the games I stream are blind playthroughs. So for all that, like, when I started this, as far as I knew, there was going to be a whole other day of investigation. But anyway. She dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole the weapon. And what happened to the victim's staff then?
I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I really couldn't see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated.
That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger.
Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. And then, at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up.
Nothing sounds especially strange yet.
What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her?
Was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. Okay.
You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim?
Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger.
I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point, it's just silly.
As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal.
I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified.
Your animal analogies have grown tiresome.
You were the one who started it.
Anyway, moving on. I can't believe these motherfuckers are in my courtroom. I have to deal with this shit every day. You all see what I have to deal with? These morons? So, after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next?
When Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Oh, they're showing me. Ooh, I get a picture. I get the cool CG on this line. That must mean it's important.
Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw?
Yeah, because before it was all about her getting stabbed in the back, right? With the big sword. The Shichishito. And like, she got stabbed in the back. And also, if the knife didn't get pulled out, then there wouldn't be a lot of blood. But she apparently immediately pulled it out. And yet there is only the tiny... Do I have a thing of the... No, I guess I don't have a piece of evidence of the pillar itself. But the pillar is completely clean other than Maya's name on it. So, I don't know. I don't know about that one, folks. It seems a little suspicious.
Yes, I'm almost certain.
Almost.
The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who.
What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely.
We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night, and that the woman that was killed was Elise Donim. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who?
I don't have anything to counter that just yet.
Other than the fact that Maya was locked in the prison. She was locked in the chamber. When is this taking place is the real question. Because from what I thought, Maya and Bikini go over together. Maya goes into the inner chamber. Bikini locks the chamber. But now we're saying that, what's her fate? That Iris went over. So, because Iris has the locks. She's like, the first lock I could get off because I put that on there. Well, that lock should have just been on there. She put the lock on, and then she's locked in there. Like, what? I'm very confused. The timeline for this is all messed up.
Well then, witness, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. The two of them faced each other for a moment, and then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. Then Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground.
Why are we still calling her Elise? Can we just call her Misty? Since we know that she's Misty Faye? Whatever.
So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh?
Yes. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
Where did that dagger go?
I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see.
According to the detective who found the dagger,
Press the go. It was in what probably press button.
it was stuck into the pine tree in the garden.
I guess it's got a little splatter. It's got a little pathetic, like, tiny, like, ketchup squirt on there. They'll probably say that that's enough.
Most likely, it was flung towards the tree after the struggle.
That is the most likely explanation, yes.
And after being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away?
Now that I think of it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while. And Mystic Maya stood there, not moving an inch. It felt for a moment like time had just stopped. But then, suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over.
It seems like a reasonable story at first, but there's one thing that is completely impossible. The very idea of Maya stabbing someone. That alone is impossible, which means this faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere.
Okay, so let's see if I remembered this correctly. Yeah, stabbed in the back. Okay. And the body fell 10 feet. We still haven't addressed that part. But yeah, stabbed in the back. Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. And that's when she stabbed her. Well, that can't be right. She can't have stabbed her there. And so normally, well, I guess it's directly contradicting the stabbing. So I guess it makes sense to do it here. Also, this is the big important CG, so it's signaling me to do this right here. So we'll do that.
Something about you just isn't right today, Iris.
Huh?
Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions.
What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony?
According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct?
Yes, that's right.
But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right?
Yes, I think so.
But, according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony.
Oh my goodness!
What? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
Ha! It's simple. People are like books. We've all got a front and a back. You get my drift.
Is that all you have to say?
I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind.
Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff, the people fighting being mother and daughter. And now, she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach.
There certainly are some inconsistencies.
Well, Iris, how about it?
Well, it's just...
If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing.
What do you mean?
There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee. But to pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all the senses. Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said?
Prosecutor Godot, explain yourself.
The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light.
Light.
By the way, did you know? Hazakura has a rule on nights when an acolyte is at the inner temple training. The stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit.
I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for.
Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly?
Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern.
Impossible?
It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night.
Well, that's not true. We saw the little lanterns that had obviously been used the night before, with the pitch all around them.
There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all.
Most enlightening.
Yes, that illuminating fact has chased away all the contradictions.
Whatever. I got the words out of order. So what? Huh? Sue me.
If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Trite?
No! I mean, actually, no. That actually makes no sense. What are you talking about?
Order! Order! Order!
Here, Your Honor. Let me present this stone lantern into evidence. Maybe it will rekindle the flame of truth in your mind.
Was not lit the night of the crime. Well, what about the upside down? That's still very strange. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face? Oh, he can't see the blood stains. Cuz I keep forgetting. He managed to get told that the knife had blood on it before, but this he is completely he has no knowledge of because of his stupid Cyclops visor.
What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot?
This lantern! There's something written on it! Why, it's written in blood!
Oh boy. So the judge didn't know about that yet.
Written In blood. What's that smell? It's blood. It says
Maya upside down!
what the?
Oh, yes. That's right. After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away.
Oh, are you playing? Are you having some quality Bloodborne time over there? Good stuff. I'm always happy to be background noise. If you ever think, oh, I can't pay attention right now, I should turn the stream off. Don't, just leave it. Just leave it there. It's fine. Gascoigne. Yeah, he's my favorite boss, Gascoigne. Oh, you're just thinking about it? I love Wooly's Gascoigne. I think about that all the time.
Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been riding on that stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body.
Oh yeah, what's that smell? That's from a Blade movie, isn't it? That's from like Blade 2? Or maybe, I think it's Blade 3. No, that's Use It. Use It. That's from Blade 3. I think it's also a Blade reference. I think the wires get crossed there. Anyway.
It certainly looks that way.
Blade 2, excellent movie, by the way.
Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about?
What do you mean? What are we all talking about?
We're talking about the message written in blood.
Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle.
I feel like you could still see that something's there. Like maybe you wouldn't see the color red, but like it's still like it's a texture. I don't know. Yeah, who knows what he sees? Clearly the logic is the color red just gets deleted from his mind, since everything he sees is red. So anything that's the color red may as well not exist. Like a car, like if a car was coming at him and it was the color red, it would just delete from his mind.
Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday.
My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
Yeah, and there have also been multiple times in this game, like for one, there was the apron with the big blood stain on it. And he was like, wait, there's nothing here, it's just coffee. Or it's just coffee. Wear a red t-shirt. Yeah, he'd freak out. It's like the images of people wearing camo, but then all of the clothes that are in camo are deleted and it's just like a head and hands. What you see versus what the deer see.
And that's what he meant by that.
In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Godot, anything further? Mr. Godot?
Okay then, let's move on.
Godot is
literally shaking. Literally shaking right now.
And somehow, I don't think it's from caffeine overdose.
No time for that. Coping and seething and literally shaking, all of the things. He's doing them.
I believe it has now been established that Miss Donham was killed by Misty Fey, or Maya Fey, I mean, the other one.
That's just wrong.
Now it's time to turn our attention to you.
Yes, sir.
After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears.
Oh no, not the Radical 6. It keeps happening.
After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple and...
I think this is like one of my favorite tracks in all of the games. I think this is one of the better ones. I don't like this one's what's it called? Is the track called Turnabout? I don't like this one's version of Turnabout as much. But this version of this song is really good.
I used the Shichishito to alter the way the wound looked.
Yeah, they all say the same name. Oh, it's Allegro. That's what it is. Okay. There you go. Yeah, I knew they all share the names. I just don't know what the names are. Yeah, okay, there you go. You remembered it right, Tiara.
So you moved the body.
Yes, I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fae clan. But even so, I never imagined...
I forget what the individual... Because they're all so similar, they all bleed together for me. Obviously, they're very different. But as, like, when you're playing through the games and they're just there in the background, like, it's hard for me to remember exactly how the other ones go. Once I start listening to them, because I try not to listen to game soundtracks that I'm playing, because you never want to look up a soundtrack and it's like, theme of X character's death. Theme of X character's betrayal, because that happens a lot and I don't want that to happen. Like, obviously, you know, they're all the same names in Phoenix, but still I get worried because that can happen to you, man. It's never happened to me because I don't do it, but I know people and have heard of people doing that. It's like, well, I'm screwed. Okay. Yeah, I'm honestly, this is one of those, Phoenix Wright is one of those series where I'm excited to keep playing just because I want to hear more I want to hear more music because it's good.
But Elise Donham was actually Misty Fey. I've committed a terrible sin.
A terrible trick of fate.
I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor.
Gonna be a strange twist of fate.
I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but...
You are spotted by the head nun, correct?
Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back.
Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Called out to Maya.
So you waited until everything was over before making a move?
No, it's not like that.
She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she went a little timid.
What? What's up?
Yes, I suppose that's true.
Oh no! I'm interested in it. I think that because I've never seen those games. I was thinking about picking up the Pixel remasters. So watching him yesterday play some of FF5 was very cool. Yeah, I understand what you mean though. It's been a hot minute. There's been a lot of stuff happening.
Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion.
Isn't your job as the judge to mediate the argument?
It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done.
Oh, what was that mod? I've never heard of this. I haven't seen this. Thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Karain tradition.
So then, you knew?
Oh, the portrait replacer. Ah.
You knew the significance of the name Maya Fey.
Yes, of course I did.
That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position.
Anyway, she was a very special person indeed.
I removed the body from the inner temple by myself.
Why did you do that?
Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene.
You moved her body all by yourself?
Yes, I did. It would have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow.
The snow, huh?
Dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Oh yeah, very cool. Yeah, I forgot that you did that. I remember. I'm remembering now. Yeah, that's pretty sick.
It's pretty amazing you could make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge.
It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age.
It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold.
But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into the Eagle River? It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple.
I thought that it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. And that's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible.
Ha! Makes perfect sense to me. For the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge?
Yeah, Tiara is a very talented artist, and she does a good job of that kind of thing. Those portraits are very good. I remember seeing them when you were when y'all were doing that. Use the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple, and
The snowmobile. I knew that would show up sooner or later.
Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge.
And this is the part that was in question the other day.
Yeah, it sure does. About the snowmobile?
Let me hear more about this snowmobile ride.
Well, it was very cold that night, so I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge.
I'm sorry, witness, but now I've got a problem with your testimony.
Excuse me?
Godot, what are you up to now?
That night, after the head nun left the reminder of the training to you, she said she walked from the inner temple back to Hazakura Temple.
Yes, I'm fairly certain that's what the record indicates.
Let's recall her comments on the subject.
Maybe, but when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there, by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean.
Yeah, it feels like so long. This year is dragged on. Like Rift Apart, the game that has like shaped my expectations for games going forward. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart came out this year. Like, holy crap. I got the PS5 this year. Insanity. That it already feels like so long ago. Yeah, same. I was like, man, right? Wasn't that? Yeah. Final Fantasy VII Remake has been out for like a little more than a year, like a year and a half. And yet, there's so much discourse.
The snowmobile was in front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say?
Order! Mr. Godot! Why are you pointing out contradictions in the witness's testimony?
Let's just say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay?
Well, maybe. Sister Bikini missed it. Yes, maybe she didn't see it.
You think she missed it? Well, that doesn't sound right.
Ha! Whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more time or effort. It's just that you'd better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. A smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that.
Yes, sir.
What was that all about?
Phoenix, obviously she is being bullied into saying this. How much more obvious does the prosecutor need to make it that he is forcing her to say this on pain of like convicting someone else or doing something bad? This has happened so many times.
Why would Godot want to give me a hint?
Very well then.
Wrong voice. I was thinking of Godot because he said it. Because I have a pea brain the size of a goldfish. I looked to the left and then looked to the right and then forgot that I've looked to the left, so I looked to the left again. Because I'm insane. I'm insane that way. I have baby brain. Object impermanence.
Very well then, let's continue with the testimony.
What I just did was like the audio equivalent of when someone's talking and you're writing like an email or an essay or something and you just start typing the words that they say and suddenly you've like typed half a sentence of garbage while your roommate is distracting you from finishing an essay that you have to get done tonight that you should have done like a week ago. That's very specific, but that's never happened to me. I would never do something. I would never put off work. Because I'm responsible, okay? I would never put off work until the last minute. Especially not when 20% of my grade was this specific. I would never. And if I did, theoretically, if I did this, I would get 100% on the essay. Just theoretically. That's all. That too. That is fiendish.
So you transported the body by snowmobile all the way to the Hazakura Temple courtyard.
Yes, I thought that way Mystic Maya would never be suspected. That's what I thought anyway. And then I used the Shichishito to alter the way the wound looked.
Okay, but we're gonna have to go back and check the other option for that, whatever it was. But I want to get this done too.
Is that what you were doing when Sister Bikini saw you?
Yes, that's right. She probably thought the worst.
Probably. More like definitely.
I see. So Sister Bikini mistakenly thought you were the one that murdered Miss Donham.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's my fault that this case has gotten so confusing.
16 personalities test. Is that like the wings thing? The Enneagram test? Where you get like the numbers like 1 through 6, but they can also be like 1 wing 2. Or is it, yeah, it could be that, or is it MBTI? The Myers-Briggs Test. Because I forget what my Enneagram thing is. But I'm gonna give you like, you're like a 1, but you're a 1 wing 2. I don't know. That one was very confusing and made much less sense to me than the MBTI test, which, while stupid and pointless, was still a lot more enlightening. Yeah, the Myers-Briggs is 16, where you're like, what am I? I'm a ESFP. I'm the I'm a terminal Libra. I have terminal Libra brain, where I'm both a Libra and an ESFP. Barrel of whack is pee-pee.
I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. But why would she want to do that? There's only one reason I can think of.
She's trying to defend someone, or she thinks that she really thinks that Maya did it, but she's trying to craft a self-defense thing. ISTJ. Yeah, I could see that. And snowmobile. Or this is Dahlia. This could be Dahlia right now. We haven't talked about that. But this could be Dahlia in her twin sister's body. Yeah, that I know, I got what you mean. That this is possibly Dahlia And Dahlia is trying to make things up to pin it on Maya. Not necessarily even out of some loyalty to her mother, but just to be a huge bitch. Who's Dahlia? I've never heard about that person. All I know about is a vague gray portrait. What about the tracks?
And if you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right?
Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks.
And this picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride?
Yes, I think they are.
But I can only see one set of tracks here.
I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple.
I see. Snow is still falling, huh?
Everyone's a Kane. I'm Dahlia. Everybody betray me. Oh no, because I didn't put it in the playlist. That's rough. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Sometimes these things slip through the cracks. I've got a bunch more VODs I need to put up. I've got like 4, plus this one. But I am recording this locally, so it'll be easier for me to do. Because I don't like... I'm sick of cutting them up from Twitch, because it's annoying and it floods my feed with highlights. But it's also, like, the easiest thing to do. So I'm gonna go back to recording them locally. Because sometimes the problem we had before was I was playing Spyro on my computer and it would look fine, but then when I tried to record it, the rendering would be too much for my graphics card. So it would end up horribly choppy. And I hoped to get a better graphics card and remedy that. But at this point, good luck getting any graphics card. Like, at all. Not even a good one. Just any. Yeah, OBS is completely free. I need to switch over to Stream Elements. I've been meaning to do that. Because OBS is kind of a nightmare in certain ways. Because, and Stream Elements is also free, I believe. But yeah, OBS had that big thing where, because I always, okay, so the story with OBS, right? OBS, Open Broadcasting Software. I'm using Streamlabs right now. OBS Streamlabs, because it has a lot of utility for streamers and stuff. But, and it's called OBS Streamlabs, or at least it was. But they're not actually affiliated at all with the people who make OBS, like Base. They just use the what is it called? It's not, oh, open source, right, is what it's called. It's not, I'm like, public domain, that's wrong. The OBS software is open source, but they used the name anyway to try and, like, mystify their brand and associate themselves with the people who actually created the software. Just a little bit of thievery, just a little bit. Which I never knew. I assumed that they were affiliated with OBS. I assumed that they were like some of the same people, but no, not at all. And OBS was getting, like, you know, they would get all kinds of mail about Streamlabs stuff that didn't work or their crappy pricing. And so I've been meaning to switch over to Stream Elements. I just haven't done it yet because I've been too busy. I want to try and do that this weekend. Or maybe if I'm not doing anything, I'll do it maybe after one of my streams. But, you know, you never really know how things are going to work when you switch things over. Even if it is easy, and I've heard that it's very easy. You can basically just import all of your stuff. But we'll see. We'll see how that works out. But I would say start with either just using, if you're not going to stream stuff, just use basic OBS. Because you can just hit record and you're good to go. GPLv2. I don't know what GPLv2 is. But yeah, just use the basic OBS. It's very quality, very stable software. I used it for a while before I used Streamlabs. I only switched to Streamlabs because it had certain utilities. But I'm probably going to switch to Stream Elements eventually. So yeah, that's the story. And if you're gonna stream, I would suggest Stream Elements as a very high quality software. I think that's what KZ is using now, by the way. For a good capture card, I have the Elgato 4K60, which I think it was like $200, which is pretty expensive. But they have, I wanted that because I wanted a solution I could plug into my PC. It's hardware, it's in there, slotted into the motherboard. But if you want an external one, they have nice, cheap external solutions, which are totally good. Oh yeah, Switch and PS3 are basically as powerful as each other, so you don't have to worry about that. It's all good. But yeah, they have external solutions, Elgato does, that you can like hook into your computer from the outside. So if you want to do that, you don't need to have it be like internal hardware. It works good for laptops. Hell yeah. So yeah, good luck with that. It's always hard to get started. Getting started is the hardest part. It's just like, you never know what you're doing and you don't know what's any good. And sometimes you have to get, yeah, that's true. Sometimes restarting can be even harder. The triumphant return, heck yeah. Anyway, video games. That's enough talking about stream stuff. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm happy to help in whatever capacity that I can.
And then when the murder took place, it already stopped.
Return of the King, heck yeah.
That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony?
I think it's very important. I think everything should be added to the record.
When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped? That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony.
But did it have something to do with the case?
All will be made clear if you allow our statement to be added to the record. Ha! This should be fun.
What do you think?
You were close.
Shoo! Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we?
Yes, sir.
By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. Well,
there have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. And this time, are you sure it's all true?
Yes, I am.
he's not the worst. Oh no. People do worse than him. Worse than losing every case that they have. I mean, you have,
What's his name? The guy who,
the guy with the glasses.
the Grand Nagus. Inconceivable.
Yeah, the snatched wig guy. Yeah, it's true. He does sometimes win. He seems to be pretty, like, just normal. All things considered.
When the murder happened, the snow had already stopped. According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear.
That's right. I'm certain of it.
I think I've trapped her this time.
I see how you think. Snow, huh?
What is going on here?
Oh no, spirit of... Oh boy.
If the snow had really stopped by the time of the murder, it'd mean there's a bigger hole in this.
Epic Matrix reference. I'm not reading that. I'm not reading your reference to the Matrix Revelations. Revelatons.
Ha! Well then, Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to share your theory with us. Let's see what's up your sleeve, or rather, at the end of your index finger.
That sounds insane.
We already saw this, so I assume whatever. It's gonna be, I don't know exactly how this connects, but I'm assuming it's the stupid, like, snow bullshit. Snow 7 to approximately 10:15, or 10:50. Yeah, that's way late. The lightning striking at 10:45. Yeah, that's way late. I'm not gonna look it up, don't worry. We'll find out at our own pace. Present. That's way too late. Wait. Huh? The witness's statement is bullshit, but it's not. What? Wait a minute. I just had that. No, dang it, I went too far. So, wait. The murder happened after the snow, but that means it would happen after the lightning. Because the lightning strikes at 10:45. If the lightning already struck, then that doesn't make any sense. Is this not right? Wait. The murder took place, the snow had already stopped. Do I have to do it like here? All the way across Dusky Bridge. It's gotta be right here then, right? Because Dusky Bridge would have already been hit by the lightning at 10:45, which is before the snow stops. Yes, okay, we're good. It's fine.
You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible.
What?
This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time.
Why do you say that?
Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire.
Blah, blah. Well, I'll be excited to meet that guy. He'll be very cool.
What did you say? The bridge, it was on fire?
You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down.
What? But it can't be.
My wife. That's really funny. I like that a lot. Because so rarely do you get like an actual progression of a prosecutor's personality. That sounds really fun. Yeah, woo. Why are you all in my ear? It'll be really funny. Don't worry.
And it looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney.
No!
Order! Order!
The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body.
Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
The only person here that is truly contemptible is you.
What?
Old man.
Me? How dare you?
Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now.
Squat?
The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right?
Yes, of course, but
Don't you get brazen with me. That's why we need the other judge back there. He was pretty good. His judge is gonna get a call in the middle of the proceedings, and it's gonna play "Proud to be a Japanifornian." That's gonna be his ringtone.
Whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Donim was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. And second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Iris desecrating Elise Donim's body.
He makes a good point, on both accounts.
Dorius California Tomo Arigato.
That's right. I'm not lying.
what are you claiming this time?
I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory is still somewhat hazy.
You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy?
It is only human to err. If you're so perfect, Wright, maybe you can explain this for the court.
What is it?
When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick.
Well, not exactly, no. I know there must be some other way she got across that burnt out bridge. But unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth.
Oh yeah, sure. Don't worry. I can show you how to capture that kind of stuff. Because emulation is weird about game capture. One of the things that you want to do with emulation is you want to use window capture. Oh, the ROMs and what? Yeah, for sure. I don't want to say it live because you know you don't want to just belt stuff out, especially these days. But yeah, I'll let you know.
It looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation.
It's all good. Don't worry. I'm happy to help.
Do you see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth.
Ah.
All right then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more.
About what, Your Honor?
You've admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, this is totally Dahlia. It's getting more and more obvious that this is Dahlia. She's being like, ooh, I'm cute now.
The expected testimony in the wreckage, brother.
Ooh, nice net pop there.
Other than walking over to the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that there's a way to cross a burning bridge?
Well, there's a way that
So it was just a misunderstanding, I see.
This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident.
It certainly was burned to a crisp, and one of the suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall.
Yeah.
Clearly it would be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition.
Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's gonna be deemed as the truth. And Maya will be accused of murder. Again!
Right. I'm only going to say it one more time. It is only human to err, and only humans can spot the errors of our ways.
The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes.
All right, Mr. Wright. Please, begin your final cross-examination.
Well, other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. I must have just gotten confused. Was the snow still falling? Who cares? Are you saying that there is a way to cross a burning bridge? Well, let's press first before we get into it.
Yes, but if the snow had already stopped when the incident took place...
I couldn't have crossed the bridge, naturally. But I think it's just like Mr. Godot said. The body did make it across across somehow.
Must have just gotten confused. It'll be funny. It'll be funny at least. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to look something up because I This is the only thing I can think of.
But you seem to be quite sure of yourself when you gave your testimony. You said you were sure the snow had already stopped.
I'm terribly sorry. I was wrong.
Does she really think an apology is gonna get her off the hook? This is no joke. You're giving sworn testimony in a court of law.
Well, Mr. Wright, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what the weather was like 1 week ago today?
Huh? Well, naturally, it was,
You see, it's not that easy to remember, is it?
But if it had been some kind of a special day, I would have remembered. For example, it was pouring rain on the day of my elementary school graduation.
Thanks, Phoenix.
No one wants to hear about your childhood dramas, Wright.
What?
By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. If you insist on obsessing over that one statement, let's see the proof. Show some evidence that the body somehow crossed the bridge while it was on fire.
Are you saying that there's a way to cross a burning bridge? Well, I might be. Bitch, I might be.
Well, I don't see why there couldn't be a way across.
Mr. Wright, don't you think that sounds a bit silly? A dead body crossing a burning bridge. Did anyone actually witness such a thing?
Ha! If there was, I don't think you'd call someone like that a witness. After all, a dream isn't the same as actually seeing something.
I've come all this way, so I owe it to everyone to figure this out.
I feel like they're totally telling me to do what I think I'm gonna do. Well, I have faith, okay?
But how do you transport a body across a burning bridge? Even if I don't know the exact answer yet, it's okay. I'll start by examining all of my evidence and see where that takes me. I've got to be like a shark. If I don't keep moving, I'm as good as dead.
Ah, shoot. I fast forwarded too many times. I think there is a way to cross a burning bridge. In fact, I think someone has told us exactly how you do that. Wait, where is it? Oh, here it is. I was looking for like one of these pictures. Yeah, look at it.
Take a look at this. Take a look at this.
Yo! Let's go.
A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility.
What?
Ha! You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air.
I don't know about that.
Jungle life, I'm far away from nowhere. I love that song. That song rocks. On my own, like Tarzan boy. Hide and seek. Horizons on the floor, it's monkey business. On a sunny afternoon. All right.
In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen.
Preposterous!
Who is it? Who is this witness?
I can't chicken out here. I've got to keep on the attack and go, go, go! Miss Elise Donham's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Larice Donem.
Brilliant.
Highly gifted.
Apprentice?
Remember what he said in his testimony. That night, he was at the Mountain Shack, Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night.
Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument? You think this scribble gives you power over me?
Uh-oh. The judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket.
Ha! Well, Wright, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything?
I don't know. We'll see if it proves anything. We'll see in a second.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it does. And I'm gonna prove it.
Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with this sketch?
Upside down? Why did Godot say that?
Yeah, what? Oh. Yeah. Oh. So wait. So, okay. Suspension cable. Wait a minute. Let's look at. Wait a minute. So you've got cables stretching this way, and you've got, right, turn it upside down. I'm still not sure how that affects the girl, but I think I get what he's saying. Cause in all of the pictures, right? Larry he's laying down and he's looking upside down. I'm not sure what we're saying yet, but Larry, in all of the times when he's like, oh man, like I saw it, like we flash back and he's looking at it upside down. And there are no like things at this angle right side up, but I think this all puts it together.
All right then, let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show?
I don't think old Whiskerface is gonna forgive me, or is gonna forgive any more mistakes. So I better save again, because this is a lot closer to the point. All right, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. This sketch, drawn by Larice Donem, is evidence of nothing, a complete contradiction, or exactly what happened. Well, it's a contradiction, of course, because it contradicts the way that it is. Something is obviously funny about this sketch, and I'm not talking comedic.
I'm no art critic, but even I can see that.
No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Larice Donham stated it over and over.
Honestly, I should have. You're right. That would have been good content.
What this sketch was exactly, it was exactly as he saw it.
Yeah, see? I told you. Look at him. Look at him. He's upside down.
I contradicted your mom last night, Trebek. Go ahead, show the people my work.
And what you have drawn is a horse. For the first half of a horse, and we're not gonna show the second part of that.
The beat is mightier. If it works, I'll buy a dozen.
However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it.
It contradicts reality?
Ha! This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger-pointing thing again. Okay, Wright. So what exactly contradicts the blah blah blah? I couldn't read the whole thing.
It's this wire connected to the bridge.
The wire?
Ha! Is that the thing that contradicts reality?
It is indeed.
Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that will point out how this sketch contradicts reality.
Well, you just gave me this picture to look at exactly for this purpose.
That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct?
Yes. Now, compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge,
Jumping Jehoshaphat, Batman.
the wires are below the guard wires.
What? Home improvement noises?
Order! This sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just saw it wrong?
Or perhaps he just drew it wrong.
Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong.
With someone like Larice, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then, that begs the question. Why did he make a mistake? What was the reason?
Are you saying you know the answer to that?
Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Larice was doing when he witnessed this event? He was at Heavenly Hall, waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and waited, and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now, ponder what sort of position Larice must have been in at the time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did.
He was lying on his back? I can't see how it relates.
What, you haven't seen the CG? It keeps flashing, come on. But it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down.
Ah!
No way.
Larice Donham witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down.
So then, this sketch should actually...
I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Larice Donham's sketch is like this. This is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below.
Yeah, it's all coming together. She was swinging on the stupid... Oh, this is amazing.
That's right, just like a pendulum.
Did he just say bootylicious? Is that what he just said?
Of all the things to say, a pendulum.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side, and a pendulum was the only way to get it done.
Propane nightmare. Burn, 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 burn. Now you're witnessing the power of my stand. Propane nightmares.
That's a classic. Kids don't know about propane nightmares. They don't know about Smash combo videos set to propane nightmares.
Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dosky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff.
Yes, that sounds right.
In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you'd need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you'd have to plan ahead.
The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident. Though it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them.
What?
I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there.
In that case, Mr. Wright, please, give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal had the rope on hand to create a pendulum?
Well, this photo, obviously, where it shows the bridge thing. Woo! No, almost dropped my controller like some kind of moron.
And the meaning of this is?
If you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard.
Ah! This is one of the wires from the bridge.
When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of these suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Elise Donham's body.
This is so insane. Yeah, sure, I'll believe that.
Because there was simply no other way to move the body. Ha!
He's having a great time.
Mr. Godot! It seems that Mr. Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question.
Yeah, he's trying to make his heart explode. It's the only way. It's the only option he has left. Also, I think my poor little guy is freaked out. He's not liking it. 1 second. He's stuck. He's stuck in motion. 1 moment, please. Just gonna have to Come on, work with me here. It doesn't like it. Let me just gotta reboot him. Thank you, FaceRig. FaceRig is not a very good program. I have to restart the boy. Second, where is he? I'm gonna just disappear him for a second so you don't see my pants. That'd be embarrassing. Yeah, I don't know why it does this sometimes. It just stops tracking. Yeah, I restarted it and it's just fine. I've been meaning, there's so many things I keep meaning to look into, but then I just forget. There we go. I want to find possibly new software to use. You know, you just have these things that you want to do. Anyway.
It seems the odds of a rope being readily available were very high. Though I suppose that it's not an impossibility after all.
And that explains the falling.
Possible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Right. I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. You have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum?
Well, I have this autopsy report which says she fell. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far.
Yes!
Yes! According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see it's the one that was in front of the inner temple.
Are you okay? Back the wolf!
I love Terry's voice. Everyone else can speak normally, but Terry is he's had a brain aneurysm.
So then, that was the spot where the criminal?
Yes, precisely. Now, let us consider the body's movement by looking over at the overhead map again. Oh no! Don't say these. This hurts. It's too good to be true. What's the... Him and Captain Falcon. They're the only ones who can truly understand the other one. They're connected on like a spiritual level with their barks. Bust the wolf! They're just hanging out, yelling nonsense that no one really can understand. And if the body was pushed from this point here... Meow! Okay, Sabaka, bye-bye! We're almost done here anyway. I think, we're gonna be getting to a good stopping point. And it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point. Have a good sleep, bro.
Did you say drop?
Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank.
What? What makes you think something like that happened?
Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance. Good night, sir.
What kind of evidence?
Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death.
10 feet, huh?
And that's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to the forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose.
That's...
Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off of Miss Elise Donham's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found.
Indeed. I believe it's already marked over on this overhead map.
Yes, right there.
The crystal was found... Ah!
Precisely, Your Honor. In this very spot, where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed. Frickin' got him.
This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with a way the body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Mr. Wright!
I thought this cold coffee might help you cool down.
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Godot?
That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, right? But you forgot about one thing.
Oh, and what would that be?
The aroma.
Ah?
A coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma.
The rest of the court doesn't speak coffee-nese. And can you elaborate a bit more?
If the criminal had sent the body to the other side like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it.
An accomplice?
The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So, who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Wright?
Mr. Godot is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do.
Save? Oh, absolutely. Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice.
Very well then. If you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person that received the body on the Hazakura Temple side?
Well, if we're going with Dolly as the murderer, right? And we haven't addressed all of the other nonsense. We haven't addressed, because we're assuming, I'm assuming, Bikini saw her at the other side, at the inner temple. So I'm assuming that Dahlia Hawthorne possessing Maya killed Misty Faye. That's the working theory right now. So she's stuck on the other side, possessing Maya. Meanwhile, Iris, who clearly didn't see any of this, because her testimony's full of holes, was over on this side.
Yes. And it can only be you, Sister Iris.
Huh? But I
don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one who could have managed it.
Yeah, she had the key and everything.
Right. Were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner temple garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath.
I haven't forgotten. But of you, Mr. Godot? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim.
Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time.
Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony?
Mention what?
The pendulum, of course. Using this sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I've established how the body was moved using the burnout bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have already known.
No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum.
But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help, so you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with.
What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright?
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying that this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple?
That's exactly what I'm saying, big man.
Are you serious, Wright? You mean this woman is...
There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night.
I don't need to save. It's fine.
Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing there at the witness stand. Her real name is...
Dahlia Hawthorne.
I never thought I'd have to utter your name again. Let alone see you. It's been a long time. Dahlia Hawthorne.
Hawthorne?
Sister Iris had a twin sister. And you're looking at her. Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless.
Ha! It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne.
Ba-bum.
Oh yes, I remember now. That case, 5 years ago.
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
The honor is all mine.
No, the honors, all mine. But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, that was really cool. That was good. Well, I am gonna say that's a good cliffhanger to leave you on. And after this, on Thursday, we can pick back up and we can see, is it really Dahlia Hawthorne? Or is this all just a big Mobius double reach around? Who could ever say? We'll get it, we'll blow through it on Thursday. We'll have a good time and we'll finally dust off the last game in the Phoenix Wright trilogy. So yeah, I'll see y'all all then. Yeah. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Tomorrow we're doing more SMT5. I'm finally gonna get back to that game. I have missed it. I need to progress. I did a little cleanup in that game, finished some quests, got all that stuff done. So we'll be doing that. And then on Wednesday, I will be starting Psychonauts 2, finally, which I'm very excited about. We'll have new games in the pipeline. Yeah, I'll see you all then. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye, everybody. I love you. Mwah.